Hello and welcome to New Jersey Politics with Laura Jones. I am Laura Jones and we are so glad to have you here. We're on location in West Orange. This event is called Meet the Mayors. So we have a lot of mayors here, dozens of mayors here, but there are also leaders from business and commerce. And we're going to go inside, we're going to talk to some local leaders as well as those in the community and see what they're talking about and how it may impact you and your hometown. So let's get to it. The 13th Annual Mayor's Conference featured panelists representing 4 North Jersey towns: Newark, Livingston, East Orange, and South Orange. We are here at Meet the Mayors, and with me is Denny Klein, and Denny is the chairman and coordinator of Meet the Mayors. So good to see you. Can you tell me a little bit about this event?
Well, I must tell you that this is our 13th annual event. We're very proud. This year, as always, we have a great turnout. We have mayors, we have political leaders, business leaders, all kinds of folks are here to come together to talk about the issues that are important to New Jersey and Essex County. We have a great turnout of mayors, including Ras Baraka from Newark, Michael Vieira from Livingston, Sean Spiller. I mean, the list goes on and on. Josh Raymond from North Caldwell. There's probably about 20-something mayors here, and it's a great event, and we love having it. And I've been doing this for 12 years.
Can you tell me a little bit about this year? Some of the people you mentioned we're hopefully going to be speaking with, but every year, is there a common theme that people are talking about, or something perhaps unique that mayors are concerned about this year?
Well, first of all, our main themes are diversity and inclusion, bipartisanship, and also that we recognize that there's an inextricable link between suburban Essex and urban Essex. Those are the main tenets. Now this year, we're dealing with problems of inflation as they affect municipalities, and they're affecting health insurance premiums and all kinds of costs, and the municipalities need help, and that's why we have Tom Bracken here, the president of the New Jersey Chamber of Commerce, to help us organize a lobbying effort to try to get more funds from the state to help offset these problems in these very difficult times.
Well, a lot of people would say, well, they're a mayor. How can they not get access to state lawmakers? So can you talk about the importance of making those connections with the business community, with other particular groups, and those connections?
Well, we try to act as the voice of small business for Essex County. This is a project of the Interchamber Coordinating Council of Essex County, which is 5 chambers of commerce, that we've come together to produce this event as a project of our combined efforts, because we need to have a voice of small business. How we go about doing that is having these events, getting to know the mayors, having them get to know us, hearing from business leaders what their problems are, listening to the mayors about what their problems are. And right now we have significant issues. We have issues with the Council on Affordable Housing as well as others. Now the guy to talk to about all this is Joe Tempesta, who is our moderator and mayor of West Caldwell.
All right, so hopefully we're going to be able to speak with some of those mayors. Anything else that you enjoy particularly about this event?
Besides meeting you?
That's a bonus for me as well.
I love this event. I have a great time. A lot of people come together. We get to network. Things are done here. Connections are made here. And I like to be in the mix and in the action. This is my 12th year, and I'm going to be turning over the mantle this year to Vic Nichols, who's the incoming chairman. And I've had a good 12-year run, and I want to see this perpetuate. That's the thing I like the most. If I get something going, I want to see it keep going.
Well, it seems like this is the place to be. Meet the mayor. So we thank you, Denny Klein, for taking the time to talk to us.
Pleasure to meet you, Laura. Thank you so much.
Michael Vieira is the mayor of Livingston, and we are here at Meet the Mayors, and we're going to be having a panel discussion, and there are 3 topics that you think that you're going to be speaking about or get the most questions about. Can you talk a little bit about the first one that we talked about just before going on camera, and that is affordable housing?
Yes. In Livingston, we have to, just like every single municipality in New Jersey is dealing with affordable housing, the fair share housing, and we're just trying to get through it, but it's not easy. There's a lot of units that fair share housing wants a town to have, and there's just not enough land available. However, we need to try and meet those numbers, and it's becoming harder and harder.
So what are some of the solutions, or what kind of messages do you want to get out? Because this is about not only meeting with other mayors, but also making some connections and networking.
Well, some of the messages I want to get out is to fair share housing, where they're giving us a lot of units to put together. Whereas in Livingston, they gave us almost 1,000 fair share housing units. That actually equals up to 5,000 new addresses in Livingston, a town that only has 10,300 addresses currently. That's a large number of influx of people. You know, you have to talk about the school system, you have to talk about the fire department. There's a lot that we have to take into consideration when we're rebuilding Livingston.
Can you talk just a little bit, like if people mention Mount Laurel, they don't necessarily know what that is about ensuring communities have access to affordable housing. But can you just talk a little bit about how you strike a balance, because you want people to be able to afford to live in the town, and at the same time, a lot of people coming in can put a strain on your services.
Yeah, you know, there's not one council member in Livingston that is against affordable housing. We have no problem. You know, we believe that Livingston is a great school system. Everyone should be entitled to a good school. That's why a lot of people come to our town. However, fair share housing does need to understand that it's a burden. Right now, our schools are overcrowded. The council's actually getting blamed for the school overcrowding. And the funny thing, though, is there's not one shovel in the ground yet from all the projects that we've approved, but we're still getting blamed. So, you know, we already know that we have to build new schools. Our sewer infrastructure, garbage, everything needs to be accounted for when you talk affordable housing and fair share housing. I really think that the governor really needs to put the Council of Affordable Housing back together, because fair share housing really is unfair for us.
And you're not alone in this. Many towns across the state, we're here obviously in Essex County, but you're not alone in this in having to deal with fair share housing.
No, we're not, and what's hard on us is we're just getting through round 3 right now in 2023. Round 4 starts in 2025. So we have to have a whole new set of numbers come in 2025. Senator Bucco actually, I saw a bill that he sponsored pushing round 4 back to 2028. I know that I'm going to be supporting that. I'm going to try and get our Essex County legislation to support that. Something has to be done, because listen, we're not even through this round yet, and we have to really go round 4 in 2025.
One of the other topics that you wanted to talk about is the Open Public Records Act.
Yeah, you know, we're having a lot of trouble with the Open Public Records Act. You know, we're all for transparency, and that's, my term in office has been talking about transparency. However, when it comes to the Open Public Records Act and trying to get information from the town, you know, you have people who are on witch hunts. You have people who are asking for frivolous items, and it's putting our clerk's department, like, I have 4 people in our clerk's department, all day they're working on Oprah requests. And
that's the Open Public Records Act.
Yes, and people who are requesting it don't even have to put their names on it. They could be anonymous. Okay? Why are you actually asking during election times, especially, for all of our emails? Not even being specific. You know, it's a burden on our clerk's department.
How do you strike a balance between having that accessibility to open records and, you know, a right for people, and, like you said, putting the strain on your 3 people you have who have to go through that? And those open public records, when you get those requests, you've got to pull a lot of legal people into it, figure out what can and cannot. It is a real balancing act and extremely time consuming.
Yeah, you know, it's just not giving a person the information. You have to actually go in there, make sure that there's no other person's information. You have to redact it. You have to make sure that Daniel's Law doesn't, with the judges and everything, isn't part of it. Then once the clerk redacts some stuff, you have to send it over to legal to see whether they've redacted. So not only are we wasting a lot of time in our clerk's department, now we're wasting a lot of money with our lawyers, making sure that everything is right there. You know what, I really think that the state needs to come up and say, you know what, put some money into Open Public Records Act, give each town some money just so they could hire one person to deal with the Oprah requests.
So yeah, so that's the solution I was going to ask.
That would be my only solution at this time because, listen, we're not a large town, but we have 4 of our clerks working on it every single day.
And the clerk has many other jobs as well.
Oh, absolutely. They take care of the council. They get our meetings ready. They prepare resolutions, proclamations for us. They have a full-time job to begin with, and just Oprah alone is just another full-time job on top of that.
The third topic that you wanted to discuss is cannabis. So can you talk a little bit about what your town is dealing with?
So if it comes up, I'll talk about it. Livingston ended up opting out. The vote was 4-1. I actually was voted to opt in on everything because that's what the voters in Livingston wanted was legalization of cannabis. And who am I to say, yeah, you voted for it, but we're going to deny you that. So, but we just had a report come out in Livingston with all of the classes except for retail. They left retail out, unfortunately. So I think Livingston is about ready to move forward on some of the classes. And I know as mayor, I want to have a study for retail and medical marijuana put out there.
Because what is the issue? The state has said this is legal, you can do this, but are they leaving a lot of the details to towns and municipalities?
I think in the beginning, I think a lot of towns opted out only because they didn't know what to expect. We were told, oh, there's going to be a lot of crime in the areas where retail marijuana is sold. There's a lot of traffic. There's going to be rioting and everything. There's several towns around us in Livingston that are already doing it. There's nothing. There's no traffic. There's no fighting. There's no robberies. There's nothing like that. So at least in Livingston, we're seeing that now. So that's why we're thinking about the other classes of cannabis, except for retail. We do have to do a study on retail.
Well, you have a busy day, and we thank you for taking the time to talk about some of your issues that you are dealing with and discussing here at Meet the Mayors. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. I'm really honored to be part of the panel today. Thank you.
Our redevelopment that is going on in the city of East Orange. We have close to $2.1 billion invested in the city of East Orange, right? Yes. And through those developments, which we have a major project is going to change the face of East Orange, which is a $500 million project, which we know for a fact that would put tax ratables back into our city, which we're finding ways through that project, through our at-risk program to make sure that, as the mayor talked about, job opportunities, we're training young people to have a future in that development.
Ted Green, Mayor of East Orange. One of the things I loved hearing you talk about was, and I'll get you to repeat it, it's not so much about, you're here to network and to talk about what towns need, but you were talking about what you can do to help young people have a better life. Will you mind explaining that or talking about that?
Yes, listen, I'm at where I'm at as the mayor because someone gave me an opportunity. There were so many people in my community who allowed me to go to training programs, apprenticeship programs, and I think it's very essential that our young people who, again, don't want to go to college, right? No, we're encouraging our kids to a higher education, but we are focusing on training programs and apprenticeship programs because one thing we have to allow our young people to know that being a plumber, lucrative money. Being an electrician, lucrative money. Learning HVAC, lucrative money, solar panels. So we're pushing kids towards those type of trades because they are here and they're not going anywhere. And the reason why we're pushing so hard because not only will they have a future, they can go anywhere in the world and take their talent and their certifications and be productive economically.
There's so much pressure on young people. Colleges are competitive. Colleges are expensive, and you don't always get a return on the money that you invest.
Now that is true. And look, sometimes you can go to college for 4 years and you come out sometime and you are in debt, right? The training programs that we're offering in the city of East Orange, they are free programs because of our partnerships with the unions, with CDBG money. So we're investing back into our community. And what better way to invest than our young people? Because we know one day that we may not be on this platform, and we want them to be able to lead this city and also be productive.
Well, they'll be the ones picking our nursing homes and taking care of us.
Oh, without a doubt. And if we don't train them and teach them right now at a level of their freshman year, and next year we're actually going into the middle schools and working with our middle-aged kids because we want them to start processing how important it is to not only have education, but a trade in the world that we live in.
I don't hear a lot of mayors talking about this, and it's very, very refreshing to hear about the importance of education because, as you said, you are where you are because you had an opportunity, and education often kind of doesn't necessarily level the playing field, but it's crucial.
No, it is crucial, and I agree with you 100%. Because you get a 4-year college degree, or even go back sometime and get your master's, don't guarantee you a job. But one thing in this world you'll never run out of, air conditioners, electric cars, a plumber, electrician. All of us need those necessities if you live in this world, especially if you're a homeowner. We're always looking for a plumber. So we are taking a robust approach, aggressive approach with serving our high schools and our junior high schools, and we're going in there talking to our kids year round.
Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right.
So we know first and foremost, we need relief for people in that plan or else the entire state health benefits plan is going to collapse. We've seen some of the largest cities decide to get away from that plan. So if we're going to reinvest back into it, Governor Murphy needs to use part of that $10 billion surplus to ease the pain for our taxpayers. We heard, yeah, can you guys clap because that's really important.
Sheena Collum, do they call you mayor or president? Every township is different. What is your official title?
My official title is village president, but most people know it as mayor.
All right, so you're the only female on the panel today. So can you talk a little bit about the importance of an event like this, Meet the Mayors?
It is absolutely phenomenal. This is a time where we get together, learn from each other, get to hear from the people that are in the audience, from the chamber, from the business community, and very healthy debate, right? We have very different perspectives, diverse views. There's 22 mayors in Essex County. So it's our time where we get together and, kind of see what each other is working on.
What kind of things are you going to be taking away after being a part of the panel and also speaking with your colleagues and other business leaders, other people from the community?
I feel so strongly that partnerships between the municipalities is critical right now when most municipal budgets are coming in at 5%, 6%, 7%, a lot of uncontrolled spending, unfunded mandates. And so our ability to work together is going to define whether or not we can get costs under control for our taxpayers. And these are the opportunities where we share what we're doing in order to do that. Can we scale it? And can we do it better together?
And when you meet with other mayors and other leaders, do you feel that there is power in numbers, that your voices are heard more at the state level where you perhaps might need those resources?
Absolutely. I'm intimately involved with the New Jersey League of Municipalities, which is a great resource for mayors. I'm on the board of director for the New Jersey Conference of Mayors. Mayors are, again, where the rubber hits the road. We are on the ground with our residents, working with our business community, talking about housing, redevelopment, lead line replacement. When we galvanize together and we move forward and we approach our legislators, the governor, we are so much stronger together. And quite frankly, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, is that we have so many commonalities at the local level. Safety, great schools, wonderful transportation, good roads, recreational opportunities. There's more that brings us together than what divides us.
They say all politics is local. What are your constituents saying? What are some of their concerns right now?
Property taxes. That's what it comes down to. Is New Jersey right now is #1 in the country in property taxes, and we've got to figure out a way to build a more efficient system. Every dollar saved is money back in the pockets of our property taxpayers, even for our renters. Everybody benefits from having more money in their pockets. And if there's anything we need to do, I think it's that.
Everybody is still recovering from the pandemic. Inflation is sky high. Do you feel optimistic, pessimistic, neutral? How are you feeling about the future?
I feel very optimistic. In government, you have to always feel optimistic that if you're working with people, if you're building partnerships within your community, if you're thinking long-term about your finances, things will always be better in the future than it has been in the past.
Mayor, thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Thank you so much.
You know, Newark is where I was born and raised, went to public school there, and Newark has gone through some good times, some bad times, just like every place else in good times. All I can tell you, this guy works 24 hours a day, and he really puts his residents of Newark first. And we have done many, many things together, and we're going to continue to help each other. And I couldn't be more proud of Mayor Ras Baraka and what he has done and what he continues to do each and every day.
Newark Mayor Ras Baraka was presented with a leadership award recognizing changes he's made in the city.
I've participated in this since I became the mayor because I always thought it was important to be a part of what was going on and make sure that Newark's voice was heard and the people in Newark were represented. This thing is very heavy, by the way. I don't know what this, it's part of my workout. But I appreciate this, and the work we do in the city is really done by thousands and thousands of residents who live there every single day, who are making the most out of difficult times sometimes, and make beautiful things out of things that people often throw away. And we make Newark beautiful as much as we possibly can, and we work very, very, very hard to make our city one of the best cities in the state of New Jersey. So we're going to keep working and keep pushing, and God bless you, and God bless the 311,000 people in the city of Newark.
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Mayor, let's just talk a little bit about your opening comments. A lot of people are here, they want to talk about networking, they want to talk about what they need in their community, the resources, but you were talking about what your community needs from you. Can you talk about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's important, as mayors, as leaders, we have to tackle difficult issues and make decisions every day to make sure people's quality of life is better, that their neighborhoods are secure, that kids get access to decent education, to employment, and in this economic environment is rough. And so those are the issues that I wanted to deal with, trying to figure out how to be creative and navigate some of those things, but also how we get support from our colleagues in the state and the federal government to get through some of these issues that we have.
You were talking about how the quality of life in Newark is improving. Can you talk a little bit about some of your initiatives, some of the things that you're doing in Newark to make it safer, to make sure that kids are staying in school, that they're getting the same opportunities?
Well, yeah, we have an Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery that the state is about to open up. It's going on around the country as well. It's been helping us reduce violence, reduce crime, put kids in alternative programs to give them opportunities that they don't necessarily have, improving our workforce development, making sure we give jobs for kids in the summer and year-round, training people who are not traditionally a part of certain markets and labor pools, and getting them involved and engaged, and creating opportunities for home ownership at the same time, which I think is critical, and building more affordable housing.
Can you talk a little bit about the award that you received today?
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. I appreciate it. I didn't know I was going to get one, but I'm incredibly grateful to the organization. I try to participate in this because I think it's important for us to dialogue between mayors and constituents and talk about the issues that we have. And I think it's important for Newark to participate, being the state's largest city and larger in Essex County, to be involved in it. So I made it my business to be here as much as I could.
Can you just talk a little bit about, and I know that you need to get going, but what you enjoy the most about being the mayor of the largest municipality, Newark?
Well, I was born and raised in Newark, so it's a blessing for me to be able to see neighborhoods transform and help people in communities and families that I've known for decades and generations. I've known their fathers, their grandfathers, known their grandfathers, and all of those things. So it's incredible for me to watch the city develop and change and just be a part of that. So I thank God that I'm able to be a little help in the transformation of my city.
You seem to be a little bit of a celebrity here. Everybody wants to take their picture with you. What does that feel like, once you are able to be around other people who aren't necessarily with you every day, just to see the feedback you get from around the county?
It feels good. I mean, everybody likes to be appreciated for the work that they do, but, I just do this every single day to try to make people's lives better, and if it has an impact, then God is good.
Mayor, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, Vic Nichols, after today, you're going to have a new title, so why don't you tell me who you are and your new title?
Okay, well, my new title here is going to be, I could say, director of moving this particular event forward. Okay, what I do for a living is I own a marketing and advertising agency, Playos Agency, which is one of the people who sponsored here. I also own DMC Publishing, so I publish the travel guide for the city of Newark. I also publish Northbound magazine, which you may have heard of before, I don't know. So very centralized within New Jersey. But really this is something that after I got asked about it, I thought this was kind of a place where I should be. Throughout my career from 1981 to now, I really haven't gotten very much involved in things that are even tangentially political, but I wanted this because it was bipartisan.
Well, can you talk a little bit about this event? We've been speaking to so many different, it's not just, it's called Meet the Mayors, but there is so much more going on here. Can you talk about what really is happening here?
What's really happening is the connectivity of business to the mayors and to politics, but more importantly, I think it's about networking. For me, where I come from, networking is the way, it is, it's everything. If you don't network, you're not going to be able to move what it is, whatever you're trying to get, whatever that agenda is forward. So in the beginning parts of this, the first hour, it's all this business networking going on. People making connections. It has nothing to do with mayors. It has to do with real business connections that are going to, people come up to me and say, oh, Vic, I ran into such and such and such and such at that event, and we're now doing business together. To me, that's the win.
It's about relationships, especially in New Jersey. For as heavily populated we are, it is a very small state as far as people knowing one another, and that's really how you get work and business done in New Jersey, is through those relationships and contacts.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more, and that's really why we want to continue to grow this. This is obviously was an incredible turnout. We do it once a year. My objective is to make it bigger and keep it growing, keep what we have, and then amplify it. That's the idea.
Well, Vic, thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
And that will do it for today. I'm Laura Jones. Thank you so much for watching New Jersey Politics. We have more from Meet the Mayors, and we look forward to seeing you next time.